Hey Chariot Racers, welcome back to the Guiding Chariot and welcome to a new pick a card reading. Alright my loves, this reading again is kind of going to be focused on May, what's coming, great news, and I was sitting, first of all I hope you guys are all doing well. I just want to get into this reading already. But yes, I definitely hope you are well and I hope you're sitting down. Grab yourself a snack, this reading is going to be big. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be big. Normally I kind of think of what I feel like we should talk about, what's going on in the collective, and I'll kind of meditate and certain decks will pop out and that's what we end up using. I legit had no plan for this reading. It was just kind of like, alright, who wants to talk? And literally all these decks wanted to come to the reading and they're all over the place too. Like normally a theme kind of evolves, right? Like when it's a love reading, we'll normally get the little lovey-dovey decks. This one is all over, so when I say it's going to be big, it's going to be expansive. But it makes sense. With this full moon, a lot of the themes in most of the sign readings from last week are all about growth and expansion and what we're no longer going to tolerate and be afraid of and, hold ourselves back wherever we find resistance. We're kind of at that point where we're opening and letting it go. So I feel like this reading is going to touch many different parts of our lives. So be prepared. It might be all over the place. So it might be a wild ride. I'm just prepping everyone. All right. So I always like to pull the stacks on camera. A lot of decks wanted to play, so this might take a minute. So if you're already kind of vibing with one stack, even though they're not complete yet, timestamps will be below. I'll be sure to add those in the description, so feel free to click onto your stack. But honestly, I feel like this reading is going to it'll probably cover some career things, it'll cover some growth things. Ooh. Okay, I'm not going to take them, I'm going to shuffle them back. But we did get some jumpers. Learning experience and romance and connection. So definitely can be talking about love. And yes, there's that expansive energy. So I'm going to take those as, that's a little heads up for everybody. I'm telling you. I was almost going to call you kids. That was so weird. I was like, I'm telling you kids, this is going to be crazy. So we're going to pull all the oracle cards. And then within the stacks, we'll go through their meaning. And then we will also, of course, deeper dive with the tarot as well, because you know how I do, I love it. Romance angels wanted to come play today too, so it makes sense that there may be a collective kind of vibe of attraction going on around us, so that's great. And remember, we can attract more than just relationships. We do have a Mercury retrograde coming up, so there may be some return visitors coming up, so some of that may come up in one or a few of the stacks. Who knows? All right. There's one more deck, and then we'll get into the individual readings. But like I was saying, we'll go through the oracle messages. We'll clarify and dig deeper with the tarot. But legit, I just feel like this particular road is gonna be big, gonna be life-changing, gonna be transformative. Which I like to hear, because to me that always makes me think, especially in the previous week's video, or the previous series of sign videos, there was a lot of messages, especially, no offense, not calling anybody out, but especially in the air signs, had a lot of transmuting to do. And I don't know why specifically the air signs. But again, not calling you out. I love you all. But air signs, getting too excited. That stack number 2 going to be on fire. All right. So those are all our oracles. We'll make this 1, 2, 3, and 4. So deck 1, deck 2, deck 3, deck 4. Feel free, go ahead and pick your stack, timestamps below, and let's get to your messages. See you in a moment. Hey, stack number 1, and welcome to your reading. All right, let's go in order. We'll go in order. I put them in order, so let's go with the order. All right, my loves. Your first card, Angelite, Stone of Peace. This is a new deck for me, so I'm like super in love with it. I'm super excited to be using it today. Angelite, if you know anything about crystals, is a great crystal for calming and soothing. I personally like to use it, especially if I am trying to kind of directly connect with spirit. It comes with this connotation, having the name Angelite, that it does connect you with the angels. But it's an amazingly soothing, calming stone. I actually have some. I have some on the table, actually. But it is a, like, literally when you hold it, it does help to calm and bring peace and soothe a lot of really rough lower chakra vibrations and lower chakra energies, like anger and frustration and, you know, fear, all these types of things. So with this card popping up right at the beginning, I feel like some of you, if not all of you, have kind of been going through something that has triggered a lot of this. And, you know, it's so funny. I almost want to say it might be maybe not even a physical situation where it's like you may not even be in a situation that's causing this frustration or anxiety, but it almost feels like maybe we are like ruminating on something, or we're constantly kind of replaying something in our mind that's, you know, disturbing our level of peace. And literally your angels are be like, we're right here with you. Like, there's no need to fret. You don't have to worry about this. Also, this idea that you really shouldn't be using your time that way, right? Like, it's one thing to like be stuck on something, and, you know, we all have that moment where we need to bitch about it a little bit just to get it out, and then we move on. It feels like your team is kind of coming in and being like, hey, you don't need to worry about that. We took care of that. That's done. That's gone. It's over with. You know, we want you to return back to peace. We don't want you to stay in this like agitated like form, right? It's time to breathe. It's time to calm down. So I feel like what's coming to you is this like detachment. Like, we're releasing our attachment to things of the past, whether they, you know, are actual people, situations. Maybe we've had some emotional triggers in the previous month. I feel like this month is about really analyzing that and letting some of that go. And not necessarily, you know, in the way where like you're like cutting people out, but it's like, I know this no longer serves me. Like, I'm not gonna tolerate this. I'm not gonna settle for this. I'm not gonna accept this. You know, and if this is how you're gonna be, like, let's say it is a person, if this is how you're gonna be, that's fine. But go be that over there. Like, nothing is coming in my bubble unless I enjoy it. It brings me peace, right? Like, what's I'm trying to think of that phrase. Never mind, I remembered it, but it's a little dirty. I don't know if I could say it. But essentially, you know, if it doesn't bring you peace, a paycheck, or pleasure, it has no business in your house. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting with Angelite coming out here. All right, I'll leave it at that before we go down a rabbit hole. Next card out, Courage and Bravery. Hell yeah, because you're moving towards something that is fully serving you. I love, you can even see, like, behind her, there's this like, huge halo. Like, I don't know if it's supposed to symbolize like the sun or anything, but it's giving me this like really enlightened kind of visionary vibe. Like, no, I know what serves me. I'm feeling passionate. I'm feeling charged up. And this is the stance I'm taking, right? She's got her banner out. She's got her shield up. She's like, nope, I'm safe. I'm protected. I'm good. Like, I know how this feels. I know that I like feeling this way. You know, this is my defense, right? Like, if it doesn't make me feel this way, this shield is up to block it, right? I've staked my claim. This is my happy place. You don't get to come into my happy place if you're about to disrupt it, right? So it's this beautiful energy of like really finding that space where you can thrive, where you feel at peace, right? Where you feel empowered, right? It's a nice empowering kind of moment here with this courage and bravery. And, you know, to me, the term courage and bravery are popping up because it's not only are you standing up for, you know, what's right for you, serving your highest good, serving your best interest. For some of you, I think a lot of this is also moving into unknown territory. Not that you've never been at peace before, but unknown where, like, I think a lot of alignment has happened to you because of what happened in the past, because whatever made you uncomfortable. And it may have been something you've been doing for a long time. Like, I can use myself an example. I had a job in, you know, one of my previous careers, and I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely loved it. When I started, it was like, this is the thing. I found my forever. Like, this is where I'm going to retire. Like, it really was the thing, right? And I full on thought it was great. And it was, and it really was. It really, really was. It's just as time went on, and as you work hard and you move up the ranks and you see different things and you have different experiences, work with different people, it kind of became, slightly tarnished. We'll put it at that. There was a time where I was like, I literally don't know what I'm gonna like. This was what I thought I wanted to do, and now I'm not happy here. So like, what's next? And honestly, it feels like that kind of vibe where, you had a thing, it was great, and then that thing evolved and grew as you evolved and grew, which happens. That's what we want to happen. That's a good thing. And then it just wasn't the right fit anymore. And we tend as humans, right, in our little human suits, we like to hold on to the things that are comfortable and familiar. It feels safe. It's totally normal. We all do it. I think you're at this point where like, nope, there is nothing here for me anymore. There's nothing here for me. And I know how I want to feel, I know how I should feel, and this experience isn't doing that anymore. Right? So I think there's a nice triumphant march forward for a lot of you. And one, again, that is going to be fueled by peace, not frustration, not like, oh, I just need to get out and find something else. Like it's literally like it's this really enlightened, in alignment kind of charge. It's beautiful. Like it's making me think of that. Granted, it's not the greatest, most appropriate poem, but energetically, it's making me think of that poem about the Light Brigade. I know, if you know the poem, it's not exactly the direction we're heading, right? But it's that empowered, like we're in this, like yeah, this is what we're doing. I care about this so much. I'm passionate. This is the cause I believe in, and that cause you believe in is really for you, right? It's really what's best for you, which is great. Oh, give your relationship a chance. So, like I said, romance angels wanted to come. So you may have personal things happening, and this is talking about romance. It's so funny. I actually legit thought of this card. If you watch the whole intro, I know it was kind of long, and I was probably scattered and was just like, we're just going to talk and see what comes out. I did talk about the retrograde that's coming up in May, and that some people might have some return visitors. You may be one of those people, my lovely stack oneers. Now, does this necessarily mean a bad thing? No. But remember what I said with these first two cards. You either have found or are finding your place of peace and your place of power. If someone wants to return, which, they may be worthy of that, right? But if someone wants to return and, can appreciate this space, can follow the rules of this space, if they play well with others in this space, that's great. As you've evolved, they've also evolved. Whatever went down in the past, they've learned from, they've acknowledged what happened, and they've probably fixed some things. So those people, if they return, great. We can communicate, we're on the same page, beautiful. Now, if this person comes back and messes with this piece, that's your red flag to be like, no, things have changed since the last time you were here. These are the new rules. If you can't play by the new rules, you don't get to come in. So, for those of you where this is symbolizing someone returning, that's gonna be your guide. That's how you're gonna know. Because I guarantee, I'm sure some of you full on saw that and rolled your eyes because they're like, nope, I don't want her back. I don't want him back. That's done. I don't want to play that game again. And that's fine, right? That is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Doesn't make you a bad person because you don't want to go for that again. Like it's not you cutting people out. Sometimes people need to be cut out, right? Because again, it's about preserving that space. But I think with this card coming up, for those of you where this is someone returning, it might be worth a chance to at least check it out, right? Meet for coffee, but feel out that connection. If the same craziness is happening again, if like you see them and that equilibrium in you starts to shake and rattle, that's that's your body, that's your soul, that's your emotions telling you, hey, calm down, right? For others of you, I almost feel like Give This Relationship a Chance is talking about a new relationship, like where it's not someone you've ever dated before, but I feel like this is someone you know. Like I almost want to say there was like a secret crush here, like a secret admire vibe. Or maybe feelings weren't said. Let me put it that way. So maybe you used to work with someone, or you went to school with someone, and you always thought they were cute, you always thought they were a good person, but no one ever acted on those feelings. We were just looking from afar. I feel like for some of you, there may be a situation like that where someone maybe you had a crush on, or they had a crush on you, could be vice versa, kind of returns to the picture, and you kind of get a chance to like take a bit of a risk, be a little courageous, right? You get a second chance to say something. For those of you, right, there's a good chance that that connection is mutual. The only reason it never happened because no one said anything before is kind of what I'm getting. So depending where you are on that storyline, take it as it resonates. But that that energy honestly feels super, super nice. All right, let's see. Last one out. Oh, I love this card. This is a good one. You guys got peppermint. So you can't see on the card. I'll hold it. I know it's a pretty image. I want you guys to soak that in. And then even look at this like triangle that's like on her crown chakra, right? And the triangle is the strongest shape in geometry, right? So your intuition, your connection to spirit. We started with angelite, right? Connection to the angels. Your connection to spirit right now is on freaking point. Like when I talked about you in alignment, I mean it. Like you are so empowered right now. Beautiful, beautiful energy. But I want you to see the bottom of this card. So it does have the energies, when it's positively aspected, negatively aspected, and has a little mantra down in the bottom. But the energy of the peppermint card is about clarity, awareness, and duality. To me, that clarity stood out immediately, right? Because we know our direction, we know where we're heading. And I think there's going to be some resolution to things from the past where we're fully going to get an understanding of the full picture. There was a lot of things left unsaid, right? And then the negative aspect talk about jealousy, lethargy, and obstacles. So definitely some things to be aware of. So where do we feel like we're losing energy? What's making us, dispassionate about things? How are we responding when we discover obstacles in our path? Just because there's an obstacle doesn't mean, we're defeated, right? It's our response to that dictates that. So there may be some things that happen this month. That's fine. Use what you've learned, use what you know to figure out a way around it, or over it, or under it, whatever the solution may be, right? Don't give up so easily. You honestly are in such a position to be such a creative problem solver to anything that happens this month and this season. I just want to read the affirmation and then we'll take these away and get into the tarot. But here are your messages. I am invigorated by the knowledge that the only obstacles in my path are the ones that I allow or create. Yes, I talked about being super empowered, super enlightened right now. And that, stack one, for those of you who chose stack one, that is you right now. That is so you right now. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I had a tarot deck. There it is. I was like, I feel like I prepped one, didn't I? But that totally is you. And be really conscious about that last phrase. About the only obstacles in front of you are the ones that you allow or create. You are in such control right now. And again, with that connection to your crown chakra, you have this higher perspective right now that lets you see over any obstacles or through any obstacles. Like you're a freaking Superman right now, or Superwoman. You can see through all that BS. So use that knowledge to your advantage, right? See things as they truly are. And really get to the heart of it and see how can I dissolve this issue? How can I move forward, right? And even if that's a relationship thing too, right? We talked about that. When that person comes in, really check in. What are you feeling? What are you seeing? What are you sensing, right? Use that all as information to decide what the right course of action is. Okay. And we'll cut this bad boy here. There it is. Okay, let's look at that. Oh! Stack one, you guys are lit. Let's see, bottom of the deck, Page of Water. So definitely could be a new you coming out with this Page of Water card showing up. It is a card of intuition, right? I always think of it as a very psychically linked card. We've talked about your crown chakra already, so we know that's going on. But it being a page, it definitely can talk about someone returning to your life or coming into your life in a new way that offers emotional satisfaction and definitely an emotional connection. So for those of you looking for a new relationship, definitely a great moment for that. But I think this is really tapping into your intuitive sense. Like, I cannot stress that enough with this page of water. We're going to pull more cards somewhere. We're not done here. Let's talk about this first three, though. So first card out, Knight of Earth. Beautiful. So Knight of Pentacles. This energy is all about progress and growth, steady growth as well, right? Because he's very dedicated to his cause. He's dedicated to his mission. You know, he's not going to take very many risks, so it can be a slightly slower energy, especially compared to the other knights. But he's never strayed, right? So whatever your focus has been in the recent past, you've been very dedicated to that, and you have been, you know, very, very focused and committed to making the right choices, taking the right actions, and improving your you know, projection on whatever path this is. You have another page here. You have the page of air, which is very Aquarius and very Uranian in thinking, if you've ever heard me talk about this card. You know, this is my rebel, my creative thinker. But this is you at an understanding and having the clarity to see how to change things. I've been doing this for so long. I've been working on this so long. I've been working on myself for so long. I've seen some results, but maybe it's not at the level where I'd like it, or I'd like, you know, I've been working in this area, but I think now that I've done that, I think it's now time that I shift focus and work on this area. This page of air is that sense of self that challenges, you know, the norm. It challenges the status quo. So even if there are delays and changes, you know, this is that problem solving energy I talked about, where you come up with creative solutions. We're going to do this differently. There may be some messages around the ideas of truth and clarity that come through with this page of air as well. So honestly, perfect. It's kind of a perfect partnership, having this like steady, it's almost like the tortoise and the hare. Like, not only do you have the steadiness, but you also have the speed now. It's very much like the tortoise and the hare mushed together, and that's kind of your kind of state of being right now, which I love that. And then we also have the Four of Fire. So this will be the Four of Wands. Great energy, one of stability and success. And this card actually came up a lot in the sign videos as well. Which is, it's about the portal opening, right? You have access to that ethereal space where all the manifestations, where all the desires are held, right? Before they come into the physical. You literally have a direct line with that right now. And you see what you need to do. You understand what needs to be happening. What you know, because there may be definitely decisions that need to be made. Some of these might feel like risks, right? We're doing something new and different and unknown. But I'm telling you, there's like a really strong success vibe coming with this Four of Wands. And whatever it is, it's grounded and stable, right? Sometimes this card can talk about the home. So if the home life has been a little crazy, a little strained, depending what's going on, there can be resolution in there as well. Just throwing that out there. That may not be for everyone, but, you know, take it as it resonates. But that's a really positive thing there. Keeps going. We're going to do one more row, but I don't know. I want to do them one at a time. We have here the Six of Earth. So this is an energy of gratitude and reciprocity. To me, this connects what we talked about, especially with that relationship. If we're talking about another person, this Six of Earth is like making sure what you're giving out is coming back to you. Now, this could be a career thing as well, right? Where you're finding some new opportunities, right? Some new opportunities are rolling in and coming in. Some of you, this could be outward, where we're paying things off, or we have this flow, and it's about using that appropriately, right? It's not like free spending, but it's creating this cycle of what goes out will return to me, right? So it's not just about like blowing your money, but it's about wisely, you know, maybe wisely investing, or using that to, like I said, pay off debts or loans or anything like that. And then new opportunities come in to, like, as the money goes out, now you have these opportunities to build some more and bring some more in. So beautiful, beautiful energy. But again, like I said, I think there's a strong connection to this person coming into your life. And this is the check. That's how you know. Is it reciprocated? Is it balanced? You know, am I over giving again? Or am I under receiving sometimes like that? You know, it depends. Depends. And some of that may even be blocks, right? It doesn't necessarily mean the other person is holding back, but look at your behaviors. If someone like offers to pay for the coffee and you're like, oh, no, I got this. For whatever reason it is, like you are blocking that energy of receiving. So it's something to definitely be aware of. You want that to be in flow, because this is, honestly, looking at this month, there's going to be a lot of flow, all right? Then we have this Two of Air, which is the Two of Swords. This is that block, and it's right smack dab in the middle of the reading. So again, it's checking where that resistance is, and it's checking where those walls are as well, right? I think, what card was I talking about? I think it was the Courage and Bravery card, where we're stepping into the unknown, right? Stepping out of past situations, right, into new. This is where that unwillingness to be open, or the unwillingness to drop the walls, it's about checking it. I know what the space within my walls feels like. So it's not about blocking everything out, right? Because you can't just block one thing and everything else gets in. Once you put up that wall, everything's stuck outside. So you want that shield to still be open, right? But once something approaches and it messes with that vibe, that's where you're like, oh no, you're not allowed to play. That's where these unicorns are like, no, you don't get to enter. You don't get to enter. That's not for you. But to me, it's more so. It's not so much about crazy people trying to get in. It's literally about where you've set up the walls and where you are, delaying making that decision, because we've talked about that decision as well. And every time you get a 2, a decision always has to be made. So, don't be full of like toxic positivity and like everything's just gonna be all right, everything's gonna be good, I'm just gonna put rainbow heart stickers all over everything and it'll be fine. That's not the vibe we're going for, so don't pretend there isn't a problem. If something's returning from the past that was a situation, we're not just going to pretend it's no longer there. But we want to be discerning, right? We want to be open, and we want to be vulnerable, because that's how things come to us, right? With the Six of Earth. Because like I said, you can't block one thing and expect everything else to get through. Once that wall goes up, that wall is up. So we want to be open. We want to be expressive. We want to be authentic. It's just when those things come up, where are we keeping it at a stalemate, or where are we refusing to allow, right? So to me, that's just food for thought. I don't necessarily think you're in danger where you need to block things out, but I think there's this clarity is helping you to see where you as an individual has set up barriers, making it harder for the abundance to come in, right? And it may not be everywhere, but just know if it's happening in one place, it is kind of affecting the general flow of things, okay? And I say this because things definitely have improved for you. You have here the Six of Air, which is a card about progress, moving forward, things, getting easier and getting lighter. So whatever situation you were in before, that's not the way it's going to be, right? And all things are temporary anyway. So whatever was hard and trying before, it's not going to last forever. And it's, honestly, I feel like it's kind of already over for you. It's already over. Like, things are already getting better. So there's no need to be so defensive, like what the Two of Air talks about. All right. Yes! Oh my god. So we're going to talk about Ten of Air. I told you it was over. The worst is already over here with that Ten of Air, right? It is literally done. Moon card. Let's stop it. So you have the Moon card here, which is a card of mystery, secrets, maybe some shadow work. Actually, you have the Two of Air, so there's probably a lot of shadow work that you guys are doing, maybe still doing, and kind of in the process. But again, there's no reason for you to be held back. So don't let that stuff keep you from moving forward, keep you from progressing. You can't really even see those. We're gonna move these up so you can see this bottom row. You've seen the first row already. I didn't realize you couldn't see anything. But this Moon card, yes. Again, another connection to your heightened psychic sense of self and psychic intuition right now. But again, this Moon card is about the shadow work, is about the healing, bringing the things to light. And then you wrap up with the Sun card. I told you it's all getting easier. Literally, what is hidden in shadow is coming to the light. All things are being good. All things are being healed. Expect happy outcomes, right? And honestly, you should already. Our top row, literally just took you to the Four of Wands, so, or the Four of Fire. So we already knew happy outcomes are coming. And the Sun is just like, yeah, but they're really happy. They're real good. They're real good. But trust me, if you are still in your head about something, if you're still replaying something, if you're worried someone or something is going to repeat itself or someone's returning, know that the worst is over. You've already gotten through all of that BS, right? Especially with the Ten of Air. So it's done, right? And again, like what came up with the Peppermint card, the only obstacles there are the ones you allow or create, right? So if someone comes back, starts giving you the same song and dance, causing the same feelings within you, bye, you gotta go. You gotta go. I'm not tolerating this. I'm not gonna stay here for this. Thank you, but bye. Bye. You know, so you have your choice. You can let them back in and deal with that all over again. But I'm telling you, it is already done. Like, there's no need to replay that. You don't have to worry about replaying that because you'll recognize it when it comes, so you can send them on their way. Or things have changed, let them in, and there's a great outcome for you, right? Whether this is new or you give someone a chance. Like I said, I think a lot of you are getting someone from your past back, whether it's an ex-lover or someone where there was like an unrequited or unspoken bond, right? So take it how it resonates. Work-wise looks really good. Like, work-wise looks like there's a lot of good new opportunities coming for you, whether these are like projects at an existing job, maybe for some of you it's a new job, right? We didn't get, like an Ace of Pentacles, so it may not necessarily be new, but there just may be offers floating around, things for you to kind of take in and consider, which is beautiful. Personally, with the Six of Air, Page of Air, like, you're moving to a new level. So that already, great, but you've been working very hard for it. You deserve it. You literally deserve it. So there's a lot of good stuff coming your way, because again, you've done the work. You've done the work and you've earned the recognition. You've earned the manifestation of it all. Now it's really about making sure we're aware of where we still have blocks, where we're refusing, where we're resisting. Because literally the universe is like, we saw you. We saw those things you did. We saw you survive through that challenge. We saw you jump over that hurdle. Great. Good. Here's what you get for it. Could you just open the door so we can deliver it? That's kind of where you're sitting. That's the vibe. So again, beware where those few defensive kind of blocks are. It doesn't have to be defensive. I'm just using the word defensive because a lot of times those walls are created because of the challenging situations, because we have to protect ourselves. Now that you've passed that obstacle and you're no longer in that situation, the walls don't need to be there anymore. They're not serving you now. Now they're at the point where they're holding you in, right? So literally the message here is about lowering those walls to let all this good stuff in, right? Because there's a lot of opportunity coming to you, whether it's in work, romance, or personal development. It's all looking good. All right, so you guys should be super excited. Thank you, as always, for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this message. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit the like button. Leave a comment down below. I love hearing how these resonates for you. It actually makes me feel really, really good. So I definitely would appreciate that. If you're not already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when our next reading pops up. Other than that, stay safe, take care of yourselves, my lovelies. I will see you in your next reading. Bye. Hi, stack number 2, and welcome to your reading. All right, let's get into the first card. Ooh, all right. So you guys have turquoise. I think it's Spirit? Yes, Spirit of the Earth. What a great energy. So this energy is actually beautiful for two kind of separate reasons, but altogether, great message. Most obvious, definitely talking about a connection to Mother Earth. And also, it might even be like, for some of you, like connecting to Divine Mother energy or Divine Feminine energy as well. That is a big thing with turquoise and kind of its purpose, where it connects, us in the physical with divine energy, spirit energy, but especially divine feminine energy. So bringing a lot of healing. So for some of you, you may spend a lot of time outdoors. You may be a gardener or work, in agriculture, like you're in a field where you're outside working with the land a lot. But this first thing this card addresses is this connection to the earth, feeling ungrounded, which, can have, I'm not a doctor, so this isn't medical advice. So, if anything's going on, see your doctor. I am not the physician. But a lot of times when we're ungrounded, it does show up as, in physical ways, like digestion and things like that. So there may be a huge need for you to kind of reconnect and spend some time outdoors. Whether it's just maybe just walk a lap, walk around the block, get some sunshine and some fresh air. Go sit in a park, take a book with you, and just kind of read outdoors for a little bit. Go to the beach if you have that available to you. There's definitely some need for you to get into some green spaces and get some outdoor time. Just to connect, feel grounded, feel secure in yourself. Because there's a real kind of truth in those moments, right? When you're watching animals, they're just being their authentic little self. They're not putting on a show. They're not trying to, act a certain way and be presented a certain way. Like, there's just an authenticity in nature that I think you benefit from right now in this moment, in this season. The other part of the message for turquoise is about truth and speaking your truth, right? There's this real connection to communication and expression coming from the heart when you work with turquoise a lot. So this particular vibe, this particular energy is about speaking your truth, connecting to what really is in you to say, right? Like, I don't want to get too cliche with that moment, but it really is about meeting your heart and your mind and your consciousness and making sure everything you say, you mean, there's intention behind it. You've put value into it, right? We're in Taurus season, all about value. So are you saying what you mean? Do you mean what you say? Are you holding your truth back for whatever reason? If that's the case, if you're not feeling secure, right, to speak your own truth, to stand up where you feel like you need to, again, that's what going outside is for. That connection brings you back into your body, brings you back down to earth, right? I can't stress it enough. Like, big thing about checking your connection with Mother Gaia right now. And again, definitely Divine Feminine, because that energy is super, super healing, right? So, two kind of big things we're kind of working with when we get the turquoise card. Oh, babies. I just want to give anyone who picks stack 2, I am sending you the biggest hug right now. Your guidance message is all about self-acceptance. You are worthy. You are enough. You are perfect just as you are. So yes, there is a definite need for... And look at that turquoise blue light kind of spiraling around her. Look at that. Look at that. Can't even... And look, it's even got like little plants. It's got a little plant motif in it. Cannot write this. It's perfect. But yes, there is a need for your truest and most authentic expression. And it could be for multiple reasons. Definitely for you, because of course you benefit if you are being your true self and living your best life. You definitely need to be doing that. But I also think you are inspiring when you do that, right? When people see you doing it your way, when people see you just being yourself, loving yourself, owning it, that is also inspiring. So not only are you benefiting from it, but then you start planting seeds, just by being you and the people surrounding you. Like, especially if you work in a field where you are speaking or writing a lot, where it involves communication, if you are just a naturally talkative person and you connect with a lot of people and you connect with them really easily, that makes this even more important, because you sharing authentically, again, is going to have an effect on the people around you. You are going to be part of that person's journey, right? You're going to be part of that person's inspiration. And what impact are you having if you're putting out, I don't want to say a false sense of self, but it does feel like it may be kind of altered, right? Because we're keeping some of the special bits tucked away, which I get, when something weird happens and we don't feel super secure and we don't feel super confident, we get nervous about the idea of rejection. We get nervous about being judged, right? So I fully understand that, and I can relate to those moments quite a lot, right? We all have those moments. But I think this month, and we also have retrograde coming up, so you're going to get second chances to communicate different things, to speak about different things, especially something that maybe had left a wound previously. You're going to get a second chance to face those things, and it's really about how do you react this time, knowing what you know now, right? Feeling how you do now, knowing what the result was of how you reacted before, what I don't know what I was trying to say. How do you do this differently? How do we unlock more potential? How do we unlock more healing? How do we inspire more, you know, forward-thinking actions, right? So there is, I look at this card and I just really want to give you all a big hug. Like, it's like the sweetest, most compassionate vibe possible. And all of that is energy that you should be sending to yourself, right? Not that it's not good to be compassionate towards others. We always should be compassionate. But there's a definite need to turn that flow around and give some of that to you, because you are so deserving. You are so beautiful. Your soul is so bright and so light. This really is a card of really loving on you and knowing that you are enough and knowing that you are deserving. All right, so be very, even if it feels like, oh, I don't know, I'm still a little nervous, I'm not super confident in that yet, love yourself anyway. Like, be fearless in your level of compassion right now, okay? I'm gonna get off that soapbox because I could sit there for 3 more days talking about that. Oh my goodness, I talked about healing, look at that. So healing family issues. So this, I get this is the romance deck. It does talk about relationships and all this kind of stuff. Honestly, here I think it's more just focused on your healing. So there might be some childhood things that may come up, or we are focusing on and addressing within ourselves, maybe with your parents, but it just feels like childhood stuff is really coming up. Makes sense with this Scorpio moon we just had, bringing up all that stuff so we can work on it and release it and work through it. I think there's a major sense of healing some childhood trauma that just helps to open you up, helps you to be more authentic, helps you to express yourself. That may be why you're in this kind of moment of holding things back, because you were judged, you were ridiculed, people had things to say instead of supporting you at a younger age or in the past. I think we're working through a lot of those issues right now. And honestly, it's beautiful because you are so divinely protected through it, right? With this self-acceptance. And again, that connection to nature helps to keep you grounded, helps to keep you strong. I can't stress enough the importance of taking some time this season to really work with nature. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to like go lie out and meditate for 3 hours. Like, it can be short, quick little bursts, every day. Like, choose to, like I said, you could walk around the block in the morning just to get some sunshine and then continue with your day. It doesn't have to be this big dramatic, let me stop everything that's happening. But it's going to do you so much good just to get those little doses of nature into your day. And honestly, I think you'll see a huge difference in your mood and how you're feeling. Maybe it might even help and reflect itself in your thought process. Maybe if we kind of always expect something to go wrong and we expect, someone to say something, we start to see that's not the case, right? That's not the reality. That was only the reality in our mind, right? Because again, a lot of this self-acceptance has to do with the compassion you show to yourself, right? So be super, super aware of that. Last one, oh my goodness. I'm so happy. And then we have cinnamon. Look at that. First of all, look how happy this image is. I love it. And then look where the symbol is. I mean, don't look too hard. But it's down, we're looking at it's almost like between our root chakra and the earth star, which is below our feet, right? So feeling real grounded, feeling real rooted, right? And then the energy of this card, it'll have like positive and negative aspects as well as the little mantra. But you can see the positive aspects: comfort, protection, and home. So we kind of talked about family life maybe being under scrutiny or under reflection, but you are divinely protected. You are safe, right? You are so safe as you go through this work. And it is about bringing you comfort and joy. And the negatives are exposed, irritation, and outsider. So feeling left out, feeling, kicked out of the club, maybe not feeling like you entirely belong, right? Those are the things we're facing. Those are the things we are working through. Because that does leave us feeling kind of raw, right? When we've gone through that kind of stuff. But that is not your story, right? That was someone else's story they projected on you. That is not something you need to worry about. All right, I just want to read the affirmation for you. I feel safe, warm, and loved within my home. I leave the irritations of the outside world behind as soon as I cross the threshold. Yes. So if any of you want to pause the video, write that down, and you can take it with you this month, please go for it. I'll leave it up again. So just pause the video and you can write it all down, right? If you want to take that with you, keep it as your little mantra. Great thing to do. But yes, know that you are safe. Know that you are protected. Oh, I just want to give you all a big hug. I just want to give you all a big hug. All right, let's put these babies away. And let's get into your tarot. All right, my loves. Okay, that was it. Boom. Oh, yep. Okay, so we're going to do a 9-card spread, but I'm going to do it row by row so we can kind of get each little bit. Bottom of the deck, 3 of air. Excuse me. Ooh, yeah. Let's sneeze that right out. Let's blow that away. So 3 of air. It's going to be the 3 of swords. So definitely dealing with a lot of hurt, right? Dealing with pain, heartache, all those really rough, I don't want to say violent, but I mean, maybe some of this is abusive stuff we're healing from. But sadness. This is really about taking time to heal and recover from all of those things. So we have here the life experience card. This is this deck's version of the Tower. Don't let it freak you out. This one is actually a lot gentler. But it's just talking about these big shifts, right, that lead to evolution and lead to change. I think for most of you, this is stuff in the past, right? Because we already know it's happened already, right? This is stuff that's already went down, right? Oh my God, look, and bottom of the deck, right underneath that, is the 8 of water. Moving on, letting that stuff go. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. So this life experience card, so yes, something happened. There was a really powerful shift that, caused a lot of change, caused a big shift. And it definitely probably left us with some hurt. But now it's really about how do we move on? How do we grow from that? Because it's not serving us to carry this stuff around anymore. And it also may have shaped some of our behaviors, which also no longer serve us. Your next card out is the Queen of Water, which would be the Queen of Cups. So an energy that's definitely very reserved, very guarded, but very, very deep on an emotional level, right? This card is usually seen as one for empaths and being very empathic. But I think this energy is about really you nurturing your emotional space. You nurturing, yes, yourself for sure, and your intuition, because we are talking about water and cups, and how you care for others. But I think for some of you, yourself. But I think it's also about how you care for others. Because I think there are a lot of new relationships. I almost want to say in your life right now. I don't think all of them are like brand new. I think some of them already exist. But because of things that happened in the past, because of traumas that happened in the past, it's shaped some of our behaviors. And some of that, I think, could need a little revamp and need some opening up, right? The card here has the keyword of tender-hearted, which you are, right? And I feel like there may be an opportunity to open up a little bit more and be a little more vulnerable, which I get, yes, can be scary. Didn't say it was easy, but I think you are surrounded by good people, by people who truly care about you. And I think, I'm not trying to call anyone out because I feel like I'm being kind of like, I see you. But I think for some of us, we may feel that's not the case, but I think for a lot of people who feel that way, it's almost because you also haven't let people have the chance to do it, right? Because we keep everything so bottled up. We keep everything hidden to protect ourselves and to protect our heart, because we have been hurt before and we don't want to go through that again. But if you're never vulnerable with your emotions, you never get to see how people react to them. So I feel like there are some really, really good, genuine people in your life that aren't really getting to see the full you. So I think if you can open up and be vulnerable with the people you trust and the people you truly do connect with, you're actually going to gain a much deeper connection and a much deeper relationship than you ever thought possible. And that in turn helps to heal, as you kind of heal the things that let you open up a little bit, more of that energy gets given to you, right? And you see the results of it and you see like, oh, you know what? I actually am surrounded by really good people. I don't have to be afraid that, whatever hurt me in the past is going to happen again, right? It happened, it sucked. But, I'm no longer living in that situation anymore, right? And then last card in this top row is the 6 of Earth, So a card of reciprocity and flow, right? What goes out, you get back. So if you put out love, love will return to you. All right. Let's get our next row out. Page of air, 10 of earth, 7 of earth. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So page of air, this is my rebellious thinker shaking up the status quo. It's time to do things differently. There's a new perception, a new clarity that you are surrounded by because of this crazy thing that happened in your past. But you, again, can see things clearly. You can see clearer now. The rain is gone. Isn't that a song, right? I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. Yeah, I'm not going to sing for you. But, right, that's again, that's the vibe. We like it. And then you have the 10 and the 7 of earth, which I love. Especially having this 10 right in the middle, because that is all about abundance, prosperity, finding, I think for a lot of you, you're finding like your soul family, like the place where you belong, the place you fit in, right? But again, you never find that out unless you're being authentic. But this is all about like happy families, connections. Yes, it is still earth, so we are talking about money. So definitely could be talking about some work things really, really turning incredibly successful. So if you've been feeling underappreciated in the workspace, you're finding an opportunity that really pushes beyond your expectations and really leads to a lot of abundance. So that, for work, that's also beautiful. But I feel like relationships and just personal, like a sense of belonging, that is key to this month. So I love seeing this card here. And then this 7 of earth is one of having done the work, right? All of that's in the past. And you may feel like you've been waiting for a long time. Things haven't been progressing. I'm just sitting here waiting. When is that going to change? When is something going to happen? Do not worry about that. Do not worry about that, because that waiting period is temporary. And honestly, it's almost over, right? 6, 7, 10. Like, honestly, you're not going to be waiting forever. And like I said, all the work has been done. The seeds have been planted, right? Normally when this card comes up, I talk about a farmer, right? You planted the seeds and tilled and fertilized and all of that stuff in the spring. You kept it watered and hydrated through summer. You're coming into fall where all of this gets to be harvest now. So do not stress about this. Don't worry about the pain in the past. Don't worry about judgment or any like negative reciprocation of you just living your life and doing what you want to do and being authentic, right? Go ahead and do you. Like, trust and believe that the people you're surrounded with love you. And honestly, the more authentic you are, you attract more people of, that same like mindset, right? So the truer you are to yourself, the more energy that supports you and supports that vibe and supports what you do. As you put that out, more of that comes to you and surrounds you, all right? Yes. Ooh. Okay, buckle your seatbelt, stack 2. Like, that's all I have to say to you. So you have here the Knight of Fire. Now, normally when I see this card, I think of the Knight of Fire as someone who, follows their passions, is very instinctive. Sometimes you can call him the jack of all trades. But I normally see this as a personal energy, right? When I see the Knight of Fire, I think that's you becoming more self-assured, you becoming more adventurous and passionate, and going after your own goals and taking the appropriate actions. Which, I'm not saying you're not doing that, but literally when I saw this card, I felt like this was someone coming in. I felt like this was someone coming into the situation. So kind of like what I was saying, as you heal and open yourself up, you start attracting more like-minded people around you. And I do think someone kind of charges in. Now, I'm not saying it's necessarily a relationship. It may or it may not be. But I do think this is someone who has a very strong connection and is very like-minded, but you kind of are attracted to the same things. You kind of value the same things. So could it be a relationship? Yes. But it's definitely going to be a really, really good friend and a really good companion to you. And I think this person comes in real quick, right? Because we're talking about fire. So fire moves really fast. It comes in really hot. So I do think, like, as you kind of shine and show your authentic light, this person sees it, recognizes it, and like bolts in. So I do think this is, and we talked about family life with the 10 of earth. So I think this is a soul family person coming to you again. Ooh. Love that. And then you have the Seven of Wands, or Seven of Fire. Sorry, I keep using the traditional suits, but Seven of Fire. Beautiful card. And this is one about, sometimes it can feel kind of defensive, but in this particular deck, it really is about standing your ground. Like, you can see this woman riding her, I don't know what it is, fancy dragon winged something. I don't know. I love it. Whatever it is, I love it. But you can see she's not defensive in the way where she's like holding a stance and pushing other people away. She's like, this is who I am. This is my uniqueness. This is what I do, and I love it, and I'm gonna do it. And if you don't like it, that's on you. Go look in the other direction. I'm just doing my thing. This is really your energy, especially coming out right under the Ten of Earth. Just do you. Like, this is such a beautiful reading just about being authentic and being expressive and being incredibly unique, right? And then under that Seven of Earth, we have this Nine of Air, which would be the Nine of Swords. You know, so worrying, fear, being anxious about things, being scared of what might happen. Literally falling out underneath the Seven of Earth, which is talking about unnecessary worry. Here it is. Do not do this to yourself. And it was so funny, literally right before sitting down to film, I was watching these reels from someone I follow on Instagram, and he had posted all these things about fat shaming, like all these things that he'd been tagged in and his thoughts on it, and people being crazy about, you know, the idea of fat shaming. And one of the things that stuck out in one of the videos where he talked about, you know, shame, embarrassment, and you know, being judged and suffering judgment is one of the biggest blocks people have to going to a gym and starting a weight loss journey, because they're so uncomfortable on what people are going to say and how people are going to react to them, you know, in public, right? There was, and you know, again, full tangent, but it was so heartbreaking. There was this one video of this woman who, honestly, in my opinion, she wasn't even big, you know what I mean? Like, beautiful woman. And she was just in her own driveway, jumping rope, and she had her camera up because she was, you know, logging her journey. And this jerk, like, fully, like, you could hear him in the background, like, was, I guess, driving down the road or something, and like, full on takes the time to, like, stop his car. Well, I don't know if he stopped his car, but like rolled on his window at least to like yell out the window telling her to stop. No one wants to see that. Then why you looking? You know what I mean? Like, it was so and she full on like stopped and turned the video off. And I mean, I get it. I would feel incredibly uncomfortable too. But it's like that fear of experiencing that is super scary. No one enjoys that, and it's even the thought of it is enough to hold us back, right? Literally, your reading right now is talking about being so authentically you and being unapologetic about it and being fearless. Like, just be bold, be you. That is how you attract everything you've been waiting for. The place you belong, the people you connect with. For some of you, maybe even the love you have been seeking. You know, career opportunities for some of you also, right, with that beginning bit. But that is, honestly, you have to stop saving the best parts of you, right? And I get it, especially if you're unconventional and wacky, right? Like, it took me years of like reading cards in my own space before I was like willing to even mention it to my friends, like people who I knew would not judge me, who I knew would love me regardless. And even that was scary as hell, because I thought I would like lose people, or, you know, you do what? That's so dumb. Like, you know what I mean? And even to this day, I still have people who will say certain things about it. I feel like I've just dealt with it long enough that it's easier for me now just to be like, oh, whatever. Then you go play in your sandbox. I'll go be casting magic spells off to the side and turn you into a goat or whatever. You know, like just silly stuff like that. But, you know, it eventually you get to a point where it is silly. But I kid you not, there is so much more to your expression and to your like earthly experience that you have yet to see. But you really, it's just once you open up, and I know this is so cliche, and I know you can hear this in so many different ways, but it's literally what's in the cards. There's so much more to you that hasn't even evolved yet, because it's kind of like waiting in the wings, my lovelies. And like this reading is really about you breaking beyond all of that. And like I said, it's stemming from some genuine pain, right? So I'm not trying to like belittle anything that you've gone through. Be like, oh, it's so easy. Just put that on the side and go be you. So you definitely are going through some major processing here. But I think you literally are at the point where you're so done with it. Like, you are so evolved that you can see the burden it's causing. And you can see, actually, I say that, look what's underneath. So I had the Moon card and then Ten of Fire, which is all about excess burden and dropping all that weight, right? Funny, dropping all that weight. But literally, you are so at the point where you're so ready to let it go. Like, you can see, this isn't it. This isn't the way I'm going to live my life. This isn't my happy space. Goodbye. Like, I'm done playing this game. Like, ooh. Like, I know a lot of people use the term glow up nowadays, but this is a glow up. This season, Taurus season, I think you start finding so much more value in you and what you do and your talents and your gifts and your abilities, like more so than you have now and more so than you ever really thought about. But it's such an empowering time for you right now. And it really is just asking you to be authentic and be brave. And in those moments where you don't feel like that, get outside. Connect with nature. See the beauty around you, right? Just natural, raw, just excellence. And that is what you exude as well. There's really no disconnect there, right? So work on that earth spirit connection. Work on, being really confident and loving yourself and accepting yourself, because you are fabulous, my lovelies. All right, I'm going to wrap up your reading there. Oh my God, such a great reading. Such a powerful message. I hope you guys really, really felt that. It's, this season, May, going to crush it. Anyway, I literally could go on for days. Sending big hugs out to all of you. As always, I appreciate and I'm so grateful for all of you watching these videos, taking the time out of your day. I'd appreciate if you could smash that like button, leave me a comment down below. I love hearing how this resonates for you. Literally makes my day. I love it. If you're not already, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when our next reading pops up. But until next time, my lovelies, stay safe, take care. I'll see you in your next video. Bye. Hello, stack number 3, and welcome to your reading. All right, let's get into it. Oh. Okay, so before we talk about, so you guys got Celestite, the card of knowing. If any of you were kind of going back and forth between, I think it was stack 1. Yes, it was stack 1. If any of you were like going back and forth between 1 and 2, the first card is actually very similar and kind of has a similar vibe. So if you were going back and forth, you might want to watch both for 1 and 3, possibly. Celestite, great card of communication, great card, stone of communication, stone of peace. It also is a stone of hearing. Because the magic in Celestite, with it being a stone of communication, it literally helps us to understand all messages, like literally all messages, no matter what they come from. So it could be coming in light codes, it could be coming from understandings, it could be coming from dreams, it could be coming verbally. Like anything coming to you, Celestite helps you to understand all these incoming messages because it is a stone of knowing. So there's a big nudge here to really trust yourself and to trust your intuition and to trust your gut instincts. Because when you truly know, you are right. Like when you truly know something, you are right. No matter what someone else has to say, no matter what, whatever space you walk into, when you know you're doing what you're supposed to do, going where you're supposed to go, there's no question. There's no doubt about it, right? With this card popping up, it tells me you're like not only the message, but you're also the guide. Like you really are leading yourself through this. You are so tuned in spiritually. Like you're in a period of time that is so spiritual and so heightened and so connected. Even if you're looking for guidance from the outside, you already know the answer. Right? So we may be looking because we're not confident, we're not sure, we're not trusting ourselves. That's what this card really brings to focus. to trust in your instincts. Because like I said, when you truly know, you're right. So with this card popping up, know that wherever you're being guided, know wherever your instincts be like, oh, maybe I should start looking into that. Or that sounds really good. I want to know more about that. Or, I've been doing this for a while. I kind of feel like maybe I want to start doing that. Or, I see a lot of this happening around me and I'm kind of into it. What if I got involved? Or what if I made this change? Or what, blah, da, 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 da. I'm getting this hunch and I feel like this is something I should be jumping on board or something I should investigate further. All of those little nudges from you are so on point you don't even know. And really this card is telling you to trust your instincts, to trust yourself. You are vibing at such a strong level right now that spiritually, like, you're kind of calling your own shots. Like when I say you are the guide, is because it's like your higher self is literally telling you all the things that you need to do. Like literally you are calling the shots. Like you are so, and it's not that you're necessarily in control. I mean, you are, because you're telling yourself what to do. But it's not like I'm just bossing myself around or I'm just da 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 da. It's like you instinctively know the right thing to do, the best thing to do, the most efficient course of action. Like you just are really in this space of knowing, and you should own that. Like, oh, I don't, as I say this, my skin's kind of getting itchy. I almost feel like it's giving me this idea of like when an insect like sheds its like exoskeleton, right? Because it's grown too big for it. I kind of feel like that's what you're going through. Like you literally, like whatever, if this is a work thing or a relationship or just, your own personal development, it's like you've kind of outgrown, like you've done all the things you can do in this space and you've kind of outgrown it, and you're like, it's time to get out there, right? You've learned all the things you can in this field. Like you're kind of the master of this moment, and that's why you're pushing out to more. That's why you're like being called in different directions. Like, oh my God, I'm getting so itchy. I don't know what, stop this. I don't like that. It's like I'm legit getting so itchy. But it really is kind of like you are just fully tapped in, fully in tune. Like, ooh, what a great place to be. Hey, baby. Oh, my kitty just woke up. Hopefully she doesn't jump across. We'll see. And then your guidance card, compassion. Compassion. I love this. Now, yes, we want to be compassionate to everyone and all of those around us. I think this is more about that than it is like, well, no, they kind of go hand in hand. I shouldn't say that because it'll be a little different for everybody. But I do think this is about having compassion for those around you, because everyone has their own opinion, everyone has their own viewpoint. Someone's probably going to have something to say about what you say, and it's not about you proving that you're right, because you're right. So you don't have to enter that space where you have to be defensive or be argumentative about something, and you definitely don't need to be combative. So you really want to come from a place of knowing right now. Like, you're right. If someone really wants to, go off and do something different, and you guys have shared like, well, I think this is right because yada da da da. Well, I think this is right because da da da, and that's great, cool, fine. You go do that. I'm gonna do this, and all is good, right? Like, you just kind of have to know. And I say this is about others because you may experience that where someone else, we all have those people in our lives that want to be heard, need to be heard, no matter what. Maybe there's like some attention-seeking behavior going on. And again, not a bad thing. Everyone wants to be validated. But there may, because you're so in tune and you're coming up with all the right answers, you may get some people that just, start to speak up. Just let them. They'll make themselves look like a fool. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to respond. Literally just come from a place of knowing. And then for others of you, this compassion is about you because it's that trust, right? You don't have to be judgmental of yourself. You don't need to be critical of yourself right now. So some of you, that compassion is about just, being kinder to yourself and really exercising trust. I feel like so many of you probably are going to get over that hurdle very quickly because of how, even if you don't entirely, think, I don't know why I thought that, I don't know, is that even a thing? I don't know, we'll just do it and see. But like as you do that, you start to see the confirmation, be like, oh yeah, that was a good call. Oh yeah, that was the right thing to do. Oh yeah, I'm so glad I did that. Like you'll see more of that, like which will spur you on. So I feel like those of you that are still kind of working on that trust piece, I think as you take some chances, as you kind of follow your gut, you'll get over that very quickly, because you literally will see things happening like in real time, right? So great vibe. But again, it's that sense of knowing you have to come from. Ooh, we like this. So some of you definitely might be taking some risks and building some new relationships. We have new love here coming up with the romance angels. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. So, I mean, almost kind of self-evident, but definitely could be some new love coming in. So you may be getting intuitive. I feel like with this particular spread, this is new love that you are going after, right? Considering what we were just talking about. This isn't about you manifesting and attracting and bringing someone to you. Not that you're not doing that, but I feel like through what happens this month, as we move through Taurus season, I think these are you start getting the inclination to go talk to a certain person, or I've been talking to this person for a while. Maybe it's time to take it to another level. Let's make something happen. I feel like you're the one that's kind of initiating this progression, but it's showing up here to show it's valid, it's real, it's a thing. Again, you should trust. If you're feeling this, you should say something. It's a very see something, say something moment. It's kind of what it is. So again, for those of you looking for new love, attracting new love, I do think this is something where you're serving as the initiator. You're the one speaking up. You're the one engaging, right? And that may not necessarily mean you're the one asking someone out. If that's not a thing you feel comfortable doing, honestly, I feel like you should, because it's looking real good. But you may be the one that says hi, makes eye contact, makes the first gesture, right? It definitely feels like you are the initiator, because again, you just know that connection. I'm telling you, your spidey senses right now are kind of just on point. And then you guys have the lemon card, all about positivity, thinking of sunshine and radiance. So you can see in the way they did this deck, there's positive aspects, negative aspects, and then a little affirmation. So the positive aspects all about purification, positivity, adornment as well, which I think that's you just stacking on accolades as you continue to make all these good choices and right decisions. You start racking up achievements. So I would not be surprised if you were wearing some badges. I'm talking metaphorically, but I don't know, maybe some of you actually are going to be wearing little badges or getting rewards and recognitions for things. I love it. Negatively, it's misfortune, drab, and jealousy. And for me, it's really the jealousy that's kind of popping up. And I think, again, that's connected to this compassion card. Don't be jealous. Someone is being the squeaky wheel, right? It can be annoying, and you're oh, everyone's looking at the squeaky wheel now. That's fine. Do you. You're right. You're doing the right thing. That's fine. They'll all be looking at you when you're the first one to finish, and you get the greatest grade and outshine everything, whatever. Don't let that bother you. And then also sometimes we suffer jealousy because someone says something that we knew and we wish we had said it, right? So again, just trust your gut. What is going on right now. Literally. It's like getting the sun card. It really is like getting the sun card. Okay, and then the affirmation, like the sun warms my skin, joy cleanses my spirit, allowing me to see the beauty around me as well as within. So some of you, if you want to pause the video and write down this affirmation, take it with you, I would highly recommend it. It's a great thing. But, literally giving me sun vibes. Actually, why did I put that back? So let's get these out of the way, and then we'll jump into tarot. But yeah, your instincts on point, your intuition on point. Literally, you're being asked to trust in all of that. And again, it's also coming from a sense of knowing and not wanting. So I would maybe argue, that might come up in the cards, but I would also argue, make sure you don't abandon discernment, right? Because, sometimes we know we want something, and because of that, we tell ourselves things that may not necessarily be true, so there is still a level of discernment that needs to be used. But your gut instinct, like I said, when you know, and when you know, you're right. Okay? For some reason I feel like you guys need a few extra shuffles. Oh. Okay, we're gonna take those. I've been cutting everything, so I think those two just really wanted to come out. Yes. Bottom of the deck, 2 of fire. So what intentions are we putting out? What dreams have we been putting out? You really coming into your own. For some of you, you might be bringing out some partnerships, right? Because we have those two figures in the card. So you might be working with other people to move forward. All good stuff. Actually, here we'll leave that face up. Let's start with these first 2. Oh, yes. So you've got the 9 of water, which would be the 9 of cups. Wishes fulfilled. Right? And then you also have the 6 of air, which would be the 6 of swords. So things getting easier, you moving forward, right? The worst is behind you, right? So anything that's been difficult, anything that's been trying is coming to an end, and your wish is being granted. Oh, okay. So I'm kind of looking at this image for a second. Oh, I just realized. I don't know why I always saw it that way. Different. Anyway, okay, sorry. Full on sidetracked. You guys have the 5 of earth. This, I think, is what we're moving away from, right? We were just talking about the 6. We were just talking about the 6 of air. So feeling unsupported, feeling, no one's on our side, no one believes in us, right? Again, some of us might be facing some of that still. I almost wonder if some of us might be, well, I don't know, this may not be everyone, but I'm kind of connecting to this vibe where some of us might be thinking about like a self-employed business, whether it's like reflecting on one that already exists, or maybe we're thinking of doing it ourselves, because again, if we're in a situation that feels like that, we don't want to be there anymore. But I know the answers. I could just do it on my own. I've built the connections, right, or whatever it is. Like that's real. I'm really getting that with a work situation. So take that as it resonates. I don't want to spend too much time on that. But regardless, any of these feelings where support's not there, the resources aren't there. I feel like I'm the one making the weird decisions. No one trusts it. No one believes it. I'm just here talking to myself. No one else is on my side. Literally that fallen away. That's no longer the path, right? And if you are experiencing that and thinking about, going to your own business, we'll see what else comes up, but that kind of feels like, if the gut is telling you that does feel like it's leading you in a positive direction, all right? Next row. Oh my! I love when decks get sassy. I love it. I hope you love it too. Alright, so then we have the 5 of fire, a card of, can be competitive and combative energy. There can be some conflict around us. Again, this is really giving me work vibes. Whether this is like within a workplace, so it's like you and colleagues or you and other employees, or even if you have a solo business and maybe these are like competitors, right? That there's just this like bothersome, kind of annoying energy. It's not as like shady and vindictive as like if we pulled like the 5 of swords or the 5 of air, right? With the 5 of wands, it's just more competitive, and some of it may even be like friendly competition, not all of it, but this isn't as crazy as the 5 of air. So I don't want you thinking people are out to get you or trying to sabotage you, but there's definitely like a kind of maybe a little one-uppy kind of vibe going on, which can explain this 5 of earth feeling like everyone's kind of like ganging up on you, maybe like things like that, or you're at some type of a disadvantage. Yeah, like that's just meh. And it's 2 5s. 5s are always the number of challenges and obstacles. Whatever. Like I said, you have the 6 of air, so your things are getting easier, right? So the worst is behind you. So whatever, if you're in a situation that feels really, really tough, no, it's not getting worse than this, right? Unless you force it, right? If you start making crazy decisions and resisting, then weird stuff happens. But the trajectory you're on, this is the peak, right? It gets easier after here. Center of your reading is the King of Water. So this is a beautiful card for really checking in with your emotional center, being in charge of your emotions, being in control of what you're feeling, really being respected, people looking up to you. So some of, I'm just going to throw this out there because this particular king is like really compassionate. A lot of what, sometimes comes up with this card is like, generosity, charity work for some of you. So if you connect with that, you're definitely in the right space. But I do think this is, a card speaking to that compassionate side where you continue to work from the heart. You continue to keep yourself open. Even if there's real shady stuff around you or people, just trying, again, it's that one-uppy kind of energy I'm feeling. That doesn't change how you play. You're not about to play that game. You know how you want to do things. You know how you run things. You know the legacy you want to leave behind you, what you're known for. So continue to work from the heart, right? Continue to take inspired action. And like I said, continue to be compassionate to those around you, right? Because again, it doesn't feel like anyone's being sneaky and vindictive. No one's like attacking you like directly. It's this like everyone's trying to get the advantage. Everyone's trying to be a step ahead, and along the way they're probably ending up stepping on toes, right? Which isn't cool. It's not fun. It's not fair. It's not, whatever. But it's not anything like directly pointed at you. But you may be seeing some of that. It's making you feel a certain kind of way. You might be getting, advice of people, like people might, coming from a good place where they're like, oh, well, that's the game they're going to play. Like, you got to play that game too. No, you don't. No, you don't. Okay? So, just throwing that out there. And then we talked about that 5 of Earth, right? And talked about doing things for yourself, going into self-employment, or again, like we talked about with the King of Wands, you don't have to play someone else's game, play your own game. And look what came out right underneath. 8 of Earth, the Mind Your Business card. Do you focus on what you got to do, focus on your talents, focus on your gifts, focus on your craft, dedicate yourself to that, and that's all you have to do. Your work is going to be rewarded. Whether this is as you're working through something and learning and getting better and developing your skill. You can see this guy, the guy in the picture is studying, right? He's like reading a book. So for some of you, you may be maybe honing your craft in some way, maybe going back to school, could be. Just learning and evolving. Great thing to do right now, just to get better and really hone what you are presenting, right? So let's just use business as an example. Like if you're doing something where you make something with your own hands, like learning more about the art, learning more about the craft, upping your skill set, right? Improving your tools, all of that is in perfect alignment and a great thing to do for you right now. Whereas some people are trying to elevate by, playing weird games or it's all just ploy and marketing and making things flashy and dazzling, you're literally upping the quality. You're upping your level of service, right? You're just becoming the better version of what you already do, and people will see that. People will acknowledge that, right? And you will be rewarded for that effort. And look at that. Then when we get the balance cards, this is justice, right? So all about finding equilibrium and harmony. It's that, and also this is that karmic law, right? This is that karmic balance, not just, what you put out, you get back. But it literally is that energy where, I'm trying to think how I want to. Sorry, I said justice, didn't I? I totally said justice. losing my mind. Anyway. Yeah, because this is 14. Isn't this temperance? Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I think this is temperance. Oh, you can tell I've been filming all afternoon. Anyway, Anyway, focus, focus, focus. Yes, it is about balance. Yes, it is about harmony and finding that equilibrium. But it's also about finding that moderation, right? Where can we, push it a little further? Where should, is that once it tips over into that scale of like, exhausting and overdoing, right? This is a card of divine intervention as well, right? So as you work in cooperation, as you maybe compromise some things with your own schedule and your own timing, there is divine timing at work and everything falls into place, right? So there is, I think I mentioned inspired action as well when we were talking about the previous cards. Coming from that place of knowing and trusting, like, you know what? I get, people are telling me this, I'm getting this, but I really feel that I need to be doing this right now. That, again, the right opportunities are going to come at the right time to move you forward, right? So there's a lot of trust, not only in you, but also in the divine here with the balance card popping up, right? So don't worry about having to push, because when the moment comes, you are going to move forward, right? You are going to, like, there's no point pushing it, because until the things align, you're not going to make as much progress anyway. And then actually you take both of these, because then right after that you have the Knight of Air as well as the Seven of Cups. So again, Knight of Air is that decisive, intelligent, focused action, right? This is the speed, this is the haste. So once everything aligns, all the prep work you've done or are doing with this Eight of Earth, so it might feel like a pause, we don't make a lot of growth here because we're taking a step back to refine our skills, to learn, all that kind of good stuff. When the moment presents itself, you're off like a friggin' shot, right? Because again, you've done all this prep work. So now when that moment happens, all the other people who have been focused on other things, doing other things, now they're not as prepared to start running. So you're already out the gate and they're still putting their shoes on. Okay, that's essentially what's happening here. With the Seven of Water, this again kind of echoes this decisive action, because you're not getting confused. You're not looking at all the options available, because you know exactly the option you want to take, right? You've done the research already, or at least that's what's being asked of you with the Eight of Earth. Like, start your research now. What is it you want to do? Where do you think the market is going? What do you think the best thing is for your customers? And again, I'm just using this work analogy because it's coming through really, really strong. I feel like this is really connecting to career and business and where we earn income. But it's literally like you're being guided to do all of that prep work now. So when everything aligns, when that new opportunity comes, whether it's a job or a new license or whatever it is, it's like you're already prepared. You've already done all the things. You didn't even know that you were doing the things until they told you, oh, by the way, you need to Oh, you know what? I just did all of that. I totally just completed all of those. Like, that is literally the vibe that is coming up. So good on you. Continue to stay in that space. And again, continue to trust. Continue to listen to your instincts. That is what is guiding you forward, my loves. All right. And actually, before I close it, again, we had that new love card, right? That new love card coming in. I almost want to say this reading, if we applied it to love as well, is kind of about telling you, like, just focus on you. Kind of do you right now. Continue to hone your skills. For some of you, this may be like feeling more comfortable in your skin, feeling more open to meeting people. Like, just focus on you and what you're doing, creating, the best situation for you so you feel really confident, good in yourself. Because again, once that person shows up, you're going to know the action to take. Like I said, you're going to be the one who says hi, makes the first move. Like, you may not be the one asking out, because, I don't know, depends what you're comfortable with. But again, it's like, this is really a moment where you are building strength, you're building confidence, you're building almost like your platform to stand on. Like, you're like the peacock that's like fluffing up all its feathers, right? But again, once that moment comes in, especially with it being temperance, this could even be a divine partner, like someone that's being like divinely put in your path, right? The second you see them, you are going to take the appropriate action. So come from that place of knowing, come from an open heart. All right, my loves, I will wrap it up there. All right. Whew. I think yours was the one I had the most, like, I feel like got all like excited in your reading. As always, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful for you watching my videos and giving me your support. I appreciate it so much. If you like this video, please make sure to smash that like button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know how it resonated. I love hearing from you guys. It literally makes my day. And if you're not already, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when our next reading pops up. Until next time, everyone, stay safe, take care. I love you guys, and I'll see you in your next video. Bye. Hello, stack number 4. Welcome to your reading. All right, my loves, we're gonna jump right in. So, first card, yes. First card out, Labradorite. Love this stone, love this card, love this energy. All right, so stack number 4, for pulling the Labradorite card. Labrador card literally, so I will say, the meaning in this particular card is a different perspective of how we normally see Labradorite. Like traditionally we see it as a stone of protection. It is a stone of psychic activations, right? Very, very powerful stone. This particular card takes that one step further, and it is a card of free will, right? It's about kind of receiving and downloading the powers of the universe, the power of the sun, and channeling it so we can gain that focus and that drive to make things happen. It is a card of action. It's literally saying it's action time. Like now is the time to unite the heart and the mind, right? Because the heart is where we feel those passions that drives us, that motivates us. You know, it's what makes us passionate about the cause. Connecting with the mind, where we get that logical, analytical sense. So here's how I'm feeling about a situation, and this is what I can do about it, and this is what is happening. Right, so it is about the heart meeting the mind and taking appropriate action. So it's go time. Whatever your questions are, whatever decisions you're facing, obstacles you're facing, situations are on your mind. It is go time. It is time to act. It is time to lay out the plan and see it through. All right, and that's a big part why it's the card of free will, because it's what is it are you trying to create? What is it you're trying to bring about? Whether this is a situation, a relationship, a self project, like what is it you're trying to achieve here? What is the vision? What's the plan? Okay, great. So that's where we're headed. So take the feelings of that, mix it with the logical mind to come up with a plan and start doing it. Right? It is go time. So I started laughing because this stone is also known as the Magician Stone. I was like, oh my god, look, and the magician's here. Look at him. Look at him. Sorry, that's why I was giggling. So this card is saying take a step back. So by all means, I don't think this is... Oh, stop doing. So this, again, what did I say in the beginning? This is about the heart meeting the mind, right? Because it's about taking inspired action. So we don't want to be reckless and just doing things, right? So it is about uniting those two forces and coming up with the logical plan. So yes, it is go time. It is time to act. It is time to do something. But make sure we're doing the right thing, right? We don't want to just run into something blindly. And yet, I actually love this image because what I was talking about, like harnessing all that sun power and channeling it through your will, right? That this is like you holding your willpower, right? Now you have the ability to inflict change. That may not be the best word in that sentence, but you have the power to affect change. I'm gonna be giggling about the rest of the afternoon. So you have the power to affect change. What are you going to do with your power? That is literally what's being asked of you right now. So honestly, perfect card. So the take a step back is about make sure we're focusing, make sure we're harnessing this energy, right? We don't want to just overload the system and then just blow up the machinery, then we can't do anything and we miss this opportunity. We want to make sure we are truly understanding what needs to be done, how we're going to do it, and then yes, do it. It's still go time. Ooh. In the world of relationships, we are getting heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. So in the world of relationships, this may be talking about the need to have possibly even a hard conversation. There may be something, whether this is existing relationships or maybe new love coming in. I feel like it's applicable both ways, so take it how it resonates. But if we're in a relationship, it may not even be a massive problem, like it may not be a situation, but there may be something that isn't being said, we're just kind of letting it go by. Maybe we're being bothered by something, but it's not major, we're just going to let it go. Or for some of us, it actually may be a big thing and we just don't want to bring it up. There is a need to really open communication. Take the opportunity to, like, okay, can we hash this out? Like, I just kind of want to squash this so we can move forward. And for those of you who are single, this can just be about getting up the courage to be like, hey, and this may even be like I just saw this like connection where it's like, yeah, we're just going to be friends, we're just going to have fun, we're just going to keep it casual. But, one of you maybe caught feels, right? And I don't want it to be casual anymore. Like, I want to be exclusive. I want to take this to the next level. I want to move in together. Whatever it is. Like, this is the moment to have that heart-to-heart conversation. Be really honest about expectations. If things have changed, what changed? Do we like the change? Do we want to go back? Do we want to adapt it a little bit? Right? So, either way, but if there's something on your mind, if there's something pressing that you want to say, feel like you should say, and for some reason are not, find the courage to push past that. Remember, we're utilizing your will right now. If you desire something more, it's time to ask for more, right? And just be honest about it. That is literally what's being called for. Ooh. This one I would see as a quite heavy card. Still positive, but it's like monumental is probably the word I can use. So you guys got spruce. And I love what we were just talking about. And you can see like the color of this card. Even though this particular image is kind of centered on her like solar plexus, the color of this card always makes me think of heart chakra, right? Because it's speaking your truth. It's expressing. What are we bringing into life? What are we bringing into reality? And you can see on the bottom, here I'll hold it a little closer. You can see on the bottom it has like negative aspects of this card, positive aspects of this card, and an affirmation. So the positive aspects are eternal, cycles, birth, we talked about creation just then, and flight. So literally what cycle, like how are cycles shifting? Is something coming to an end? Is something beginning? What are we creating and bringing into birth, right? The eternal flow of things. Underneath that we have temporary and infertile, right? Things that aren't long lasting, that don't have the stamina to hold up, right? I guarantee what you're trying to manifest isn't something that you only want for a day, right? You want something more permanent. You want something more meaningful. So make sure that's what your actions and your words are leading you towards. The affirmation on this card: in times of darkness, I find strength in the awareness that even the longest of winters gives way to the birth of new things. I love that. I'm going to leave this up if you want to like take a screenshot or pause and write it down, and you can take this with you. I highly recommend it. I think that'd be a great thing to do. Great little practice. But that card coming out, there is a big shift happening for you. So if you have been like just following the motions, doing what's expected, in a bit of a rut, and we're just going to keep going, this is a moment where you are about to shatter all of that, right? Because I would almost argue what that path is wasn't in alignment with you. And now you have this moment where you can exercise your will. Like you're literally like, it's like the magician card. Like you're literally affecting things the way you want, making your reality happen, right? Instead of playing in someone else's reality, following someone else's rules, this is a big shift. This is where you really get into your body, right? We're taking all that drive, all that passion, all that will, connecting it down into the body and taking physical action on it, right? So same like in relationships, having that, this is what I want. This is what needs to change. Here's this thing we need to talk about. We've been avoiding it, but we can't avoid it any longer. This is the thing. Da 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 da. Like, ooh. This is a big monumental shift for you, my lovely, lovely stack 4 people. I didn't know what to call you just then. I was like, I think I thought I was in a sign reading and I was just gonna be like, oh, my lovely, lovely Taurus or whatever. Like, I was like, wait, no, everyone's on this one. Interesting. That was weird. But yes, like, ooh, this is a big. This season is going to bring a lot of shifts for you and a lot of growth. But it's growth that is really being dictated by you. It's not like, oh, an opportunity came, I took it, and I'm so surprised by what happened. Like, no, like literally universe like handed you the wheels. I'm like, here you go. Steer this boat wherever you want to go. No, we trust you. You can do it. You know where you want to go. You know what you want to do. Go ahead. Go do it. Okay. Oh, that was interesting. Okay, we're going to dive a little deeper here. Oop, thought someone was going to jump out real fast. Okay, one more shuffle. There we are. Bottom of the deck, 5 of air. So might have been dealing with some poor decision making, whether it was you or another person. But I think with the 5 of air coming up, normally I always read that as like the people around you, there's like some manipulative intention. Some people can be kind of shady. And again, I don't think this is something coming. I think this is something from the past, right? So maybe an opportunity came and we thought it was a good one, so we went in, but it actually was better for another person, right? They weren't thinking for our benefit, or as this path developed, we realized we weren't really super happy on it, right? I feel like something may have happened in the past where we felt manipulated, where we felt maybe not necessarily taken advantage of, but we were led down a direction that wasn't in our best interest. It may have been in someone else's. So now we're moving forward from that. Now we're healing from that. And just making conscious decisions to do things differently. Having that on the bottom of the deck, right? Because that's just kind of like the overall energy. All right. So honestly, I'm loving what we just got on the table. So we've got the King of Fire first and foremost. Honestly, to me, I think this is you coming through as super passionate, super driven. I talked about, again, taking all that like sun energy and channeling it through your will. This is amazing. Like, this is amazing energy to start off your reading with. But again, this is an energy of focus, right? Because this energy burns very hot. You don't want to burn out, right? You don't want to be so bright and so hot that you literally go up in smokes. But this is you truly being a leader. Definitely great if you're in a creative field or plan to move into a creative field. Also a very magnetic personality, right? The King of Fire is very charming, great manifester, attracts a lot of the connections and people he's after and needing. You're just super inspiring in this moment, having this card pop up. So this is a great way to start this reading, especially considering what we talked about the labradorite, you being all fired up. And this is you taking a leading role in this situation, whatever it is, whether it's your personal life, from dating life, professional life, doesn't matter. Like, you are showing up very strong, very inspirational, very idealistic in some ways, right? Because it's just like, I'm going to make this the best I can possibly make it, right? So beautiful, beautiful energy. And then what I really want to talk about are these two majors. So you have the High Priestess, who we all know and love. We love this card, right? But you also have her counterpart. In this deck, it's called Unity, but this is the Hierophant card, right? So to me, you do have two counterparts here. So for those of you looking for love, I mean, huge spiritual connection here. But I think what stands out to me more, having these two cards come out, when I talked about in the beginning about finding your own direction, doing things your way, making your business happen, for those of you who pick this card, I feel like there may be a possibility that some of you either have the desire to or find a way into like a spiritual based career, whatever that may be. If you have talents like reader, working with crystals, any type of healing work, Reiki, for example, anything like that. Having these two strong spiritual leader cards pop up, along with the King of Fire, who is, a born leader, and, fire is the element of spirit. I think there is a good kind of nudge if you've been thinking about or have opportunities to go into a spiritual-based business, open your own spiritual practice. I think this is a huge push in that direction. So take that as confirmation if that's something you have been thinking about. Energetically, the High Priestess is all about listening to your intuition, all about, finding your answers from within and trusting your feelings, trusting, your own thoughts over maybe advice of another. At least for direction, right? You may need, creative advice or technical advice, but as far as direction, you truly should be trusting yourself and your intuition right now incredibly highly. Even with the Unity card coming up after that, because this card can talk about, yes, like it is a card of religion as well, because a lot of times the card will show the Pope, but I always think of it as like a spiritual leader or your spiritual guides, sending you messages and sending you communications. So it can talk about the religious aspects, but it's also a card of almost like how the Emperor brings structure to the free-spirited Empress. This is the guy who brings the tradition and the organization to the High Priestess's spiritual knowing and intuition, right? So there may be a need for some type of mentor as far as the structure, right? So I kind of said that with the High Priestess about, you may get technical advice or creative advice. The direction should be coming from you. I know what I want to be doing. This is the energy that's like, okay, well, this is how it can be done. These are the steps that can be taken, right? And again, I talked about that heart meeting the mind. So again, here it is in front of us, right? I'm being called to do this. I'm being driven to do this. I might need some guidance on how that actually happens, or like I said, the steps that need to be followed, but that's there. So you either have the connection to someone, right, with these two cards, you have the connection to someone who can serve as the mentor or give you the advice that you need to make that happen, but you are the one fueling this endeavor, right? Let's get out our next row. Queen of Earth, Nine of Earth, and Queen of Water. Okay. Look at that. So Queen of Earth, definitely tapping into that creative side, right? So bringing things into fruition, bringing things to life. It's giving me that creative and creationary force. So I talked about the Empress too. So synchronicities off the chain right now. But it's giving me this, what am I bringing into existence? What am I bringing into the world, right? Now, yes, we're talking about the Queen of Earth, so it is about being sensible and being practical and manifesting, right? And overcoming challenges by staying grounded and earning those coins and making those ducats. So great card for success as well, especially having the Nine of Earth come up next to it, which is a card literally of success and independence and growth and knowing your value and your worth. Beautiful, beautiful card. And that coming up in the center of the spread, really, this is a really empowering moment. And since it's the Nine of Earth and it is such a strong individual card, I do think you are kind of doing this on your own. Like you may be starting, we talked about it, self-employment. You may be starting a project of your own that's truly yours, right? It's just yours. It's not something on a team. It's not a huge group of people. You also might be trying to find some time alone, right, with this card coming up. Which honestly will be helpful because that's how you're going to steady yourself, find your direction, right? Because you almost want to do it without the inside help, or the outside help, not the inside help. You want to do it without the outside help until you need it, right? Because again, the direction should be coming from you, right? Having this under the High Priestess. So where you need help or where you don't have an expertise, you have the support around you. But again, you need to figure out what direction you're heading, and that honestly might come from just finding your own space, right? But again, this Queen of Earth keeps pulling all my attention. And it's a very nurturing energy too. So when I talk about finding your own space, it doesn't necessarily mean you're cutting people out, right? But it is about really focusing on what is it I'm creating. You can even see in the image, she's using her power to manifest this money, manifest this abundance. That is so you right now. So you. And then you also have this Queen of Water card, which is coming up, which also nurturing. You have two queens here, both very, very nurturing energies. One is that kind of sensible, grounded, kind of earthly sense, of taking care of yourself and taking care of those around you. Where the Queen of Water is much more emotional. So for some of you, there may be a little empathic energy coming up. But I also think this is talking about relationships also. So we had that, if I remember correctly, I think you had the what? Heart-to-heart conversations, right? I think that's what came up. I feel like this particular card is about talking about those things and helping your relationships go to a deeper level, right? Because the Queen of Water, her emotions run very, very deep, right? Like as deep as the deepest ocean. So there's a lot of space there to really grow and evolve and uncover some deeper meanings to things. To me, that's what's really coming up with this card in this position. As you continue to move forward, right? As you move forward, it is going to take some openness, maybe some vulnerability for some of you, right? But I think there's the potential for all of your relationships, no matter if they're romantic, platonic, familial, whatever, to really go to a much deeper level. But it does take you to be open. It does take you to have those conversations. It is going to take you to kind of step up to the plate, listening to your intuition, right? About what to talk about, when's the right time to talk about it, and just kind of making that happen. I'm going to move these up a little bit so we can see this last row of cards coming up. Yep. Yes. Oh, babies. This. Giving you a little happy dance. I know you can't see it, but you're getting it anyway. Oh my God. Literally where you are now, great. You're in a very strong position. Oh my God. Everything ahead of you, crazy good. Crazy good. So we have here the Seven of Fire, which is a card of just being authentic and being you and doing things your way. Again, if you are trying to leave something to start something of your own, especially if it's like a spiritual practice, huge confirmation. Go ahead and do that. Do things your way. Even if you think something is just being done okay, but you can do it different, you can do it better, hold your ground. Like, trust in that. That is such a thing in this reading. Then you have the Release card, which is this deck's version of the Death card. But this is you being reborn, right? We talked about what are we creating with this Queen of Earth. You being reborn, you finding the next way to do things. Reaching the end of a certain cycle, the end of a certain phase. It's almost like you've gone as far as you possibly can in this direction. So it's time to transform and transition to something else so you can continue to move ahead, right? I love this card so much. I love, love, love this card. Could be dealing with a Scorpio, right? Because you've got the Death card. We've also got the Chariot card, which is Cancer. But the Chariot card is all about progress, success, fast movement, progression. You are moving forward. You are finding your victory. You are going to be successful. You are going to be successful down this path. This is a huge achievement. There's also this card, and I think it says it. Yes. It even says it on the bottom. You see that second sentence? Self-discipline and willpower. I hope it's focusing. I'm not even looking at the camera. Probably not. Where are we? Oh, God. Was I even in focus? Or even in the shot? So there you go. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower. Public recognition. You literally are in the driver's seat right now. So this new endeavor you're bringing about, whether this is work, whether this is a relationship, we talked about that with the Queen of Water, you are in the driver's seat. You are the leader, right? We had a spiritual leader, we had the King of Fire, natural leader. You are calling the shots this season. There is such a great opportunity for you to achieve, I don't even think one thing. It's like you're like achieving the whole list, right? All the things you've wanted to change, all the things you wish were done better or done differently. You're in this huge moment where you can shift all of that and really control how that shifts and guide that direction. Huge, huge opportunity. It is a big responsibility because, like I said, you have the Chariot card here, but you also have the Nine of Earth, where this is really driven by you. It really is up to you how these things shift and how these things change. And yes, we are talking about your life, but really the manner in which you're calling the shots right now, it's so powerful and so impactful. Like, you literally could change your whole life this month or this season. You literally could change the whole thing if you wanted to. And honestly, it would be a great success if you did. You could even take what you have and make it successful and make it fit your life or your circumstances. You could do that too. It's all up to you. But look how many cards we have about shifting and transforming, right? We have 4 majors here, all talking about kind of stepping up and trusting your guts and using that direction to transform something into the success you want to create for yourself, right? And we also have 3 court cards talking about really connecting with yourself. One about being a leader, one about that creative side of what we're bringing in, and then one, this emotional center of where is that creation coming from? What is it we're trying to bring about, especially in our relationships? And then you have the 7 of Fire and the 9 of Earth, which talk about just being yourself, being independent, doing things your way, and trusting that that's the right thing to do for you. Huge, huge opportunity to shift things. Like, amazing. Literally amazing. I can't make that any better. It's a huge, huge insight for your month ahead. I am sending you guys so much love. Thank you for all of your support. If you appreciated this reading, if you liked this reading, if it resonated, I'd really love it if you could hit the like button down below. Leave a comment. Let me know how it resonated. It makes my day to hear from you guys. If you're not already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when your next reading pops up. I may film another pick a card this week. We'll see. My weekend's going to be a little cray. Even my week was a little cray, so it just depends. Depends when the timing is, but we'll get ourselves through it. But I love you guys. Take care, and I will see you in your next video. Bye.